One.
Welcome back.
Let's get it.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Dungeons and Dummies. Whether you're listening live and you were able to see that quick snippet of Joe doing his thing or not, or you are listening on Spotify or wherever else you're able to download the audio from, this is the show that rolls a nat 20 for charisma and a critical fail for intellect every single time. Joining me as usual, as mentioned before, is my co-host Joe, right there down below me. As well as our fellow players, Dave and Zach from Zach and Dave Make a Podcast and the In the Neutral Zone Hockey Podcast, along with myself and our friend Daniel. And as always, the Lord of our universe and sole audience member to the theater of our twisted sense of humor, Jeremy, our world-class dungeon master.
Woo!
Right there in the middle.
Hey, you're so cute.
As usual, before I hand it off to Dave this week for our recap, be sure to follow us across all the internet's many platforms as we continue our quest for global dominance. The links to which can be found in the description of our YouTube and Twitch videos, as well as literally everywhere else, as well as on those little icons down below. Make sure to check us out on there, as well as listening on SoundCloud and Spotify, and join the post-game conversation over on our Instagram, as well as our Discord channel, and our new subreddit, our Dungeons and Dummies. With that being said, take it away, Dave, with our recap for last week.
With that being said, hey, everybody. So last week, we snuck out under the direction of Angelica to see why Bartholomew was sneaking off to the docks at night. Turns out he was down there to elicit sticky root for smoking. However, he was bullied by some potato-hurling orcs and half-orcs.
You're one of them.
Yeah, I actually am not a half-orc or an orc, and I threw two. The party saved him. Barely, by the skin of their teeth almost, came up with a cover story for him working at the docks to earn some extra money and returned home. The next morning, Angelica sent us to our hometown of Quavar, to seek loot and keepsakes that they could split with her to help line our pockets and feed the orphanage. We arrived in the dead of night to see some eyes peering at us through the tree line, and that's where we ended.
Oh, I forgot about that. That's
well
scary.
Well done.
Yeah, that actually creeped me out when you read that last week.
Good. Then I'm doing my job. So, yeah, that's a good recap. Before we get started today, I actually wanted to talk about a few things that I just wrote down while we were playing last week. And I considered doing this off camera, but I feel like the whole premise of this show is these new D&D players getting together and kind of learning the game, right? So I thought maybe just doing this on camera would be cool. So the first thing, I had to look this one up because Dave, you did a called shot last week to shoot the rope with your bow and arrow, and I just made up some crap. I just gave it a high AC, and you missed because you rolled really low, so I didn't really have to think much about that one anyways. But I did look up called shots, and according to the rules, you're supposed to have disadvantage first. So you would roll your roll with disadvantage, and then based on what you're trying to hit, the armor class of usually a creature would go up, right? So generally, the smaller the thing, if you're trying to hit the chest, that's going to boost his AC by a few points. But if you're trying to hit the eyeball, it would boost it by like more.
That makes sense.
So that's how called shots work. And for all you DMs out there, a good strategy or kind of mode of operation when you don't know something is just make it up and pretend like you do. Then that's literally what DMing is. And then maybe look it up later and go, oh, I misremembered, like that. I did want to talk about attacks of opportunity because we had a couple instances. Yeah, it's like a salesperson, exactly. We had a couple instances of attacks of opportunity, and this would be easier to see if we had like a board. But when you're right adjacent to an enemy and you try to do something that's not just attacking them or directly related to them, they will get an attack of opportunity on you. And the same for you. So if you're standing next to a spellcaster and he's casting a spell, you're going to get an attack of opportunity on him if he doesn't back away from you first and then cast his spell. And you get movement. You can take like short movement, like 5 feet of movement for free, and that doesn't give him an attack of opportunity. So
a question.
Yeah.
So like if let's say for example Bimbley wants to cast like ice ray or whatever, frost ray or whatever it's called, before I call that attack, can I say Bimbley takes 5 steps back and then?
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. If you have been engaged with someone, I'm going to assume your character is still next to them, right? So if you want to do something like that, you take your 5-foot step and then you can make your attacks.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Other things like tracking hit points. You guys know that you can do that on your character sheets, and I need you to because I'm not tracking your hit points. So there's a code of honor here that I'll expect you to tell me when you're dead.
We can never die.
we're all good right now, right?
Oh.
I'm technically rested, right? Because I was at 8, so I can go back up.
Yeah, because you've had a 3-day journey to Cuervar, right? So you've had time to rest up and recover your hit points. Okay. Similar to tracking hit points, I also need you to be responsible for tracking your spell slots, which can also be done on the character sheet. And when you use a spell of a level, there's little boxes, and you just check the box. It fills it in. When you're out of boxes, you're out of spells of that level.
Can someone show me?
Yeah.
I can.
Slots? Oh, like okay. Let me show you guys.
All right. Are you doing it?
Yeah.
Pull it up.
So like this right here, right? Slots.
Yeah.
Yes.
Me too.
Yeah,
exactly.
So once both of those are ticked, you can no longer use those first level spells until you take a long rest.
Right.
Well, at that point, I can only use cantrips, right?
Exactly.
Correct.
Yes, you can still use cantrips as much as you want.
Yep.
Gotcha.
And actually, Bimbley has something that allows him to recover spell slots on a short rest.
So are we talking short rest? Bimbley can just go, I'm going to take a quick nap and just go.
Well,
come right back up?
No, a short rest lasts a little bit longer than that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a short rest is usually about an hour. So if you've got a safe enough place that you can just sit down and be chill for an hour, then that's a time to recover. You can also recover hit points during a short rest by rolling what's called hit dice, and your hit dice is equal to it's a D whatever your character's hit dice are. Like Alex, what are your hit dice as a bard? A bard gets what, a D8?
1D8.
Okay, so Alex's hit dice is a D8. But if you were like a fighter, you would have like a D10, right? So everybody's hit die is different, but you can roll a number of those equal to your level every short rest.
Okay, gotcha.
And for each one you roll, you recover that many hit points.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a thing, just tracking hit points and spell slots. Also tracking inspiration, which Alex showed you how to do last week. And right now, I believe Bimbley has inspiration.
I do.
And is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, his hair alone is inspiring.
It is.
No, I'm talking about that mane. We haven't posted that yet.
It's a curly fro, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought it was like Fabio style. Okay.
I wanted to, but the fro suits him better.
That's fair.
And you have the wig. If we were going to do props, you have the wig already.
Yeah.
I mean, I could put the wig on right now.
With your headphones, will it fit? You should do it.
Yes.
So, Angelus, last week I remembered seeing on your character sheet, Joe, that you get like a bonus to healing spells. So what I looked it up on your character sheet. You guys need to pay attention to your features and traits, it's called. So if you look on your character sheet, there's those little tabs on the right? And it starts with like actions. Yep. And then you can go over to features and traits. So Angelus has something called Disciple of Life. It's because he took the life focus when he became a cleric. And so you get to add the level of whatever spell you cast, which right now is just going to be level 1, plus 2 additional hit points. So you're adding 3 hit points on top of your base of adding 3 hit points on top of your roll. So everything you do is going to be 6 plus whatever you roll when you heal. Malmus has a sneak attack, which is dope because you get to roll an extra d6 when you do damage with your sneak attack, and that's anytime that you would have advantage. So if they don't know that you're there, you have advantage on your attack, and so you get to add your sneak attack die to it. Or if they're flanked by you and somebody else, another person in your group. So you kind of want to make sure that you try to put yourselves in a position where you are flanking your enemy so that you can get that sneak attack.
Okay.
So just be aware of your character sheets, I guess, is the gist of it. I'll try to remember stuff as often as I can, but I can't promise anything.
Yeah, we'll do a better job looking through
Neither
that. All
can
this
I.
stuff is new, yeah.
Well, here's the deal. Like, I've not done a great job of coaching you on the rules throughout this whole process. And you guys have done a phenomenal job of picking up on the spirit of the game and bringing that to the table. And so the rules have kind of taken a back seat, honestly, as they should, because that's really what this game is about. It's about telling a story together and having a good time, right? The rules are there to facilitate that, not the other way around.
Oh, let's do it then.
So
Jeremy, you've done a great job doing what the game's all about.
Thank you.
Yes. So we'll work on the rules, but
Yes, sir.
Let's be real here.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
All right, and with that,
no rules.
No rules.
All right, with that, that's all I wanted to kind of catch up on, just with the mechanics of the game.
Sweet.
So
thank you.
Let's play some D&D.
Yeah.
Dude, Bibbly, when I pull my shirt down, it looks like your head.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see this.
Curly. No, it's, yeah. I nair that, dude.
So, yes.
Yes.
Crazy, dude, that you admitted that.
As Dave
When
said,
you're 40, you'll admit everything.
Wait, hold on. Before we get into that, though, do you take a bath in there?
It depends.
Oh,
if I have goggles, absolutely.
absolutely.
Shout out to Daniel in the Twitch comments. Definitely heard the Beatles when Joe did that. Just the one to do his eyes.
That is
all it takes. It really
that's
that's all it takes.
that is a super bad reference in case nobody
Yeah.
gets it. I use it all the time. It's like listening to the Beatles for the first time.
all right. With that, we left off with the 4 orphans having arrived back in what's left of their home Cuervar. As Dave said, there were these eyes out there in the woods, sort of peering at the children from amidst the charred trunks of the surrounding forest. Right now, the stars are beginning to shine. The moon is just coming up, and I would like everyone to make a perception check.
Perception.
Shearer rolls a 5.
Mm-hmm.
Bimbley rolls a 9.
I got an 8.
11.
Okay.
11.
Well,
Nice.
11.
I like that. That was good.
Good start, guys.
you do all notice the eyes in the woods. Mm-hmm. How would you like to proceed?
Bimbley,
Ooh.
Oh,
completely shaken by these eyes, is going to slowly back into some bushes. Because he is terrified right now.
So all the bushes have burnt down. There's just these like charred remains of like a skeleton of a bush. And so Bimbley like steps back over that, knocking what's left of it over, and stands there well hidden.
Yeah.
Hold on, guys. Step back. Angelus cast Detect Evil and Good.
Interesting. Okay. What is? Read me the description of that. What does it specifically detect?
For the duration, you know if there's an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead within 30 feet of you, as well as where the creature is located. Similarly, you know if there's a place or object within 30 feet of you that has been magically consecrated or desecrated.
So, Angelus casts this spell, and he is filled with this feeling that he's been trained on but never actually experienced before, which when Angelus was learning how to cast spells like this, they taught him that this is that feeling of dread that wells up inside you. You'll get that feeling, and then you'll know the direction of this creature. But to Angelus's surprise, the ping on that feeling, that emotion, it's not coming from out in the woods where these eyes continue to move just like out of where you can really see what they are. The ping is closer to the center of town.
How close are we to the center of town?
Yeah.
Well, you've just come in, you've come up from the south, right? So you're coming into town from the south. And just as you get to sort of the entrance to Cuervar, where the road goes from being, a wilderness road to a village road, that's where you noticed all of the eyes out there.
Is the well the center of the town?
It's pretty close to center of town. The well and the longhouse, I would say, are central.
Shearer is gonna produce his one day's worth of rations and toss it towards the glowing eyes.
Okay. Interesting. Give me an animal handling check.
I can do that.
Bimbly from the bushes.
I rolled a nat 20 plus 1.
Oh.
Okay. So this wolf comes forward, and you can see it's like a grayish, a real light gray wolf, moves forward and moves towards this morsel of food. And then a couple other wolves come out and also move towards this morsel of food. And then you hear from off in the distance this low wolf howl. Oh! And the wolves look back, and then they back up away from the food.
Bimbly from the bushes goes, "You're such an idiot, Cher. You brought the mean wolf."
Guys, we should get out of here. What are we looking for? What are we trying to get? I don't think this is worth it.
Angelus, you said that there was a feeling of dread coming from the center of town, correct?
Yeah, but why would we go towards it?
I think we need to figure out what it is.
Because that's what adventurers do. We go balls to the walls.
Yes, fair, but you've been drinking since 8 a.m.
Haven't you ever stopped to think?
I'm 12. I never think.
Angelus, look me in the eyes. Look me in the eyes here. My beard is quite nice, isn't it?
Yes, but not as nice as that mane on your head.
I've been working on these things for years now. I think because my beard is so nice, we should go to the center of town.
Should I roll to see if it convinced me?
I mean, if you want to oppose it, yeah. Then you'll have to make a wisdom save.
Know. I still don't know if it's a great idea.
Angelus, what's our other option? Just leave?
I don't know. Should we flank?
I don't know. I think we should put this up to a vote. What do you think,
I have an idea. No, this is perfect. All right. Wait, Malmus. Sure, both of you are great at stealth. I think one of you should at least scout.
Oh, whoa. Bimbly is the expert at stealth.
He pulls his trash can lid from the back of the wagon.
I'm stealth expert.
It's quite loud, Bimbly.
Agree to disagree.
You two figure it out. I have some more ale to drink.
So I think honestly, Shearer, Malmus, one of you, Rochambeau. Let's see what. Let's get some information.
The curiosity. I'm better at this. Shearer's pretty loud, so I'm gonna make my way towards the center of town.
Okay.
So
Thank you for doing that.
No, you're
As-
good, man.
as
I'm
you do,
just as scared as you guys.
you sort of have to pick your way through the rubble and the bodies, right? There's just these like 7-day-old corpses laying on the ground, and surprisingly well kept, probably because of the cold temperature up north. It takes a lot longer for bodies to decay. But so you pick your way through, and you get to basically the center of town. You're in between the well and the longhouse, and you don't see anything alive or moving. Give me a perception check.
Gotcha, I can do that.
Out of character, I don't like when Jeremy settles in like that with his hands crossed.
Is that my tell?
No, I like it.
It is your tell. This is poker.
All this gets wet right here.
I rolled an 8.
Yeah, you don't see anything.
I don't
see
notice anything out
bodies.
here. All these dead bodies. I want to loot a little bit here, but
Sure, you can.
I'm not seeing anything really.
Is Shearer standing close to any buildings? I mean, I know I have wolves staring at me and whatnot, but
Actually, at this point, the wolves with that one howl, the wolves have all backed way off, and you
so they're gone.
see
Okay.
their eyes.
okay. Shearer's going to climb up to the nearest rooftop and start making his way across, kind of towards Malmus, but at a slow and steady pace on the rooftops.
Well, Shearer will have a hard time because the rooftops have been burnt down.
Oh,
So
I think what you mean is
it
it'll be very easy for me to traverse the rooftops, being that they're all on the ground.
Exactly. Thank you. Putting me straight there. Yes, Shearer traverses the rooftops, walking in the same path that Malmus took.
Bimbley, seeing a crime of opportunity, walks over to the food that the wolves didn't finish and picks it up and eats it.
Okay. As Bimbley eats the food, Bimbley actually sees his own parents because they had actually buried him and hidden him in the ground right on that southern edge of town where the wagons come in. And that's where they died. And so Bimbley chews his food and enjoys that morsel while staring at the decaying corpses of his parents.
Mama, Papa. I'm gonna walk over. Bimbley's gonna walk over to his parents while still chewing the food. He looks down at his dad, looks over at his mom, and he goes, "Well, I'll take a swig of ale to that." But I wanna loot them. I wanna see if there's anything on them that I could take. That'll be to my advantage or just for keepsakes.
Sure, give me an investigation check.
That's hilarious, dude.
Give me that 13.
Oh,
So Bimbley finds a few things, a jewelry and stuff like that, a coin purse with some money in it.
Yes.
But more interestingly, he finds his father's spell book.
Ooh, let's do this. Let's do this.
So
Jackpot. Good call.
yeah, his father's spell book has several spells in it, and as Bimbley kind of flips through it, he can see some of the spells he knows, but a lot of these spells he can't even decipher yet. They're obviously of a sophistication in the art that Bimbley has not yet mastered, but they'll be there for him when he levels up. But
Nice.
one of the ones that Bimbley is familiar to Bimbley is Find Familiar, except that as Bimbley reads this one, he sees that something about it has been altered to where it's not the familiar version of Find Familiar that he's familiar with.
How far is Bimbley from us, by the way?
He's not too far from you. He just went off to where the food was thrown. I assume that you're still there, kind of at that entrance by the wagon.
Yeah.
And then Shearer, you've now caught up with Malmus. Shearer, give me a perception check.
That'll be a 5. I
managed
want
to tell which one's Malmus.
I just want everyone to know that my die did not even roll across the screen. It just slid onto across the screen and stopped. It just slid.
Rolled all the way into a trash can. 5.
We'll see. Maybe it's just every 3 games you get something good.
Yeah. I mean, I rolled a nat 20 on the animal handling check.
That was really good.
That's true. That's true.
Well, finally, you caught up to me.
Shearer has nothing to say. He's busy scouring the area with his eyes, trying to see anything of interest. Totally ignoring Malmus. Giving Malmus the old Malmus treatment.
I hate it here.
I'm gonna take my book, the spell book where that's find familiar, but it's not familiar. And I'm gonna waddle on over to Angelus.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go, Angelus.
Yes.
If you're done being a woman's nether region, look at this spell. It looks familiar, but something's not familiar. Can you see what's not familiar?
That. I don't deserve that. But let me take a look. As Angelus leans over towards the book, he sneaks a forehead French kiss and then reads in the book. Okay.
Bless you.
Did he have to like pull up the hair first? To get in there? Move all that out of the way. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
how did my forehead taste? Is it sweaty?
It's really sweaty. And how did you get meat up there?
Well, Angelus, I don't know if you've ever seen me eat, but I eat with my whole face.
How'd you get tears up there too? I could taste that too. You're a mess.
I was hanging upside down crying.
I mean, I really don't know these spells. None of this is. I barely know my own spells.
Because this is all arcane magic, right? And so Angelus is trained in divine magic. He doesn't know the art, but
Figures.
he does recognize some symbols here that are not arcane symbols. They're divine symbols. Or symbols that Angelus would be familiar with from his training in the divine. Give me a religion check.
That's me, right?
Yes, Angelus.
All right. Oh, 4. I rolled a 1 plus 3.
He's not sure where he's seen these before, but they are familiar.
Bigly. I can't. They look familiar, but I don't know these.
Can I roll an Arcana check to check it out?
Sure.
All right. 5.
You also rolled a 1.
What's wrong with us?
1 plus 4.
So, Bimley has no idea, but he knows that if he, he could cast this spell. He knows that he can do what it says to do. He just doesn't know exactly what it will do, but it's going to find a familiar.
Can I cast Find Familiar? Or Bimbley wants to cast it just to see what it does.
Yeah, it's in your it's in the spell book, and it's actually one of the spells that you, according to your character sheet, have prepared. So
out of character, Zach, it does require both a vocal command and hand symbols.
Kick it, Naruto. No, it doesn't.
It does though.
it does. It also requires material components, right? Yes. So Zach, if you look at those spells, if you open up a spell, you'll oftentimes see a V, an S, or an M.
I got you.
Verbal V is for verbal, S is for somatic, which means moving your hands around, and then M is for material, and it will tell you what the material component is. But this version of Find Familiar actually has you substituting a different material component, which is a bit of your own hair.
Okay.
So Joe, Angelus, pulls some of his hair out of his mouth and hands it to him.
I then tell Angelus to get down on his knee, and I kiss him on his forehead, and I go, God bless you. So, where does it say in here what I have to say?
No. It's not actually D&D is not actually a cult. So all that stuff is kind of left up to the imagination.
But we're working on it.
But you see these like right here. Like, how do I roll it though, or what do I do here?
You don't have to.
You don't roll anything. It's just a role play mechanic, right? So you're gonna.
Hell yeah, let's do this.
It's gonna take you an hour to cast this spell.
Okay. So Bimbly goes like this with the hair in his hand, and then he goes, "Find familiar."
Yes, and he does that over
Angelus
the period of
flinches
an hour.
from it.
So do I go find familiar or?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's a lot of things involved in these kind of rituals. You might have to take some salt and make a big circle, or do some kind of symbols in the dirt or whatever. You might have to burn your hair in a brass brazier. It's all different stuff, but eventually the culmination of it all is obviously find familiar.
I'm casting spells. Find familiar.
And as he does, Malmus and Shearer, you notice that there's a pitchfork that was lodged into the side of one of the buildings before the building burnt down, but that part of the building has not burnt down. And this pitchfork begins wiggling, like furiously wiggling. And you hear...
Shearer glances around the what's left of the town square, trying to determine where the sound of the noise is coming from.
It's coming from the pitchfork.
It's coming from the pitchfork.
Yep.
Okay. Man, it'd be really nice to be a spellcaster right now, out of character.
Yes, sure.
Yeah. Do I have anything for this particular situation? Let me see here.
Yeah, that one's hard.
While casting Find Familiar, because Bimbly doesn't know what's going on, he looks over at Angelus and goes, in between the "Hey, how are yous," he goes, "Angelus, go check out what the boys are doing. I'm a little preoccupied."
I start doing it too because I don't quite know, like, if it's a dance off. And I go, all right, yeah, I'll head out. And then I walk over, okay? So I walk towards the guys, yeah.
All of Bimbly's spells are based on Fortnite dances.
Pretty much.
Shearer.
He's just flossing while he's fucking finding familiars.
Shearer, spooked by the mumbling pitchfork, produces his bag of holding and runs across the town square to try to shove it inside.
The pitchfork?
Yes, the entire pitchfork. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
He gets the pitchfork up to where, like, you know, the pitchfork is stuck into the wall. But so he gets the bag of holding around it.
Yeah.
But that's it. The pitchfork is still stuck into the wall.
Malmus.
Can I try to yank it
Shearer.
off with the bag? Like I grip the bag like this and try to yank it.
So you grip the bag, but you can't feel the pitchfork inside it. You just feel the bag. You can wring it out.
Yep.
Malmus.
What do you want? I mean, I can see what you want, but I mean, how is any of this what you're doing working? Can you answer me, Bird?
Don't know.
So out of character, Jeremy, what's not in his bag of holding, can I grip that?
You could, yeah. I mean, if he wants to back off with his bag of holding.
If you could share, back up with your bag, and I'm going to try to yank this thing out here for you.
Okay. Shearer takes a couple steps back and gives him a little wiggle room on the shaft of the pitchfork, so he has something to grab onto.
Okay, give me an athletics check, Malmus.
You're talking about me or Shearer or Malmus?
Malmus.
Oh, goodness gracious.
4. Oh my god, I hate you so much.
It's really stuck there.
Yeah.
So this is a good opportunity to talk about taking 10. I don't know if they have it in 5th edition, to be honest, but in previous editions, you could just say, my character is going to take as long as he needs to get this thing out. right? So they call it taking 10, which means taking 10 minutes to do it, but also just giving yourself as if you had rolled a 10 on your die roll, and then you would add whatever your bonus is to it. So if you're just willing to, if you got nothing else going on, you're not in combat, you can just take 10 and say, I'm gonna take 10 minutes to work on this.
Dave, out of character, pause 1 second before you do that. Shearer, since the bag of holding is kind of, slouched over this pitchfork, essentially, I'm assuming, right? Mm-hmm. Shearer's gonna walk over, pull out his rapier, and try to give Malmus some extra leverage by prying it off what's left of this wall.
Okay. So describe how, like, the pitchfork's stuck in the wall.
So the pitchfork is in this way.
Yeah.
I produce my rapier and dig it into the wood at an angle to where I can wiggle it and try to wiggle it loose as he's applying pressure to it.
Before Shearer gets his rapier into the wood, he feels a resistance in the air and hears "ouch!" And suddenly there appears pinned by the pitchfork to the wood, this reddish, scaly-ish creature with big wings. It's a very small creature, maybe about a foot and a half by a foot and a half, but it's got these leathery bat wings and this long pointy tail that ends in almost like a scorpion's tail.
Does this little creature that we've just discovered, does it have a nose similar to the volume of Shearer's, or no?
Yeah, it does.
It does.
And it says, please don't hurt Papa's lab.
Can you say that again?
Please don't hurt Baba's lab. Please don't hurt Baba's lab.
What are you doing here?
Pinned to wall. Oh, for so long, Baba's lab pinned to wall. Oh, sucks.
Who did this to you?
Oh, bad man, troll, ice troll man.
How long ago was this?
7 days.
You've been there 7 days?
Oh, yes. So hungry. Please.
Hey,
please let
Bimbly.
Baba's lab go.
Bimbly, do you still have some of that food?
Bimbly from down the way, still doing his dance off Fine Familiar, goes, "No, I don't have any food, but ask him if he has any ale."
Okay. He's
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Character, does Bimbly still have the trash can on his head?
No.
Okay.
It's off to the side.
Does he have the food? Did you drop the food?
I ate it. I ate that all, bro. What are you talking
That's
about?
true. There's a lot in your beard right now. I tasted it.
Would you be able to produce a
Bimbly.
throw up, Bimbly?
Bimbly, while still doing his dance off, starts scouring his beard for crumbs, and he finds
Angela
a
sees
half.
he's doing that, and I start running towards him because I know what he's going after. I need to
yeah.
get some food for him, right? 7 days. I mean, so I'm going after him, right? I run, and I kind of have to do this because he's moving so much.
Mm-hmm.
But I get a good amount.
Like this.
Yeah.
Bimbly goes like this,
So I get a good amount,
and a
and then I
half-eaten
run.
roll
I
falls
run
out.
back, half-eaten roll.
That might be a couple days old, English, but it still might be good.
No, I appreciate it. Keep doing what you do. And then I'm going to run back with that half-eaten roll and a bunch of little scraps, and I'm going to bring it over to this sweet creature and give it to him.
Shearer, sensing some deception here from the way he worded that first sentence, motions to Angelus to hold off for a moment, and then kind of doesn't poke him with the rapier, but brings it up close to his neck and goes, "Man."
Man? Did you say man?
Out of character.
Yeah.
I
get it.
We were all there, so I'm not metagaming if I fill them in, right?
Yeah, no, you're good.
Okay, cool. So he said at the beginning, he was like, "A man pinned me up here. Ice troll man. That stuff is sus. I don't trust it. I don't like it."
I don't think he's good at communication, though. I think that is what I'm hearing. So I don't.
I think we're being a little altruistic here. I don't think we should trust anybody. Our town got burnt to a crisp.
Hey, Bimley's not there. Bimley can't have this conversation.
I'm
Bimley's
out of
doing a
character
dance
right
and
now.
shaking his beard.
I'm out of character, but in character as well, all at the same time.
No,
Okay,
that's metagaming. I'm putting a stop on that.
All right, Sheer, watch my back. All right, good or bad, this thing has been trapped for some years.
Shiro doesn't need to watch her back. He's got a rapier pointed at this thing's throat. I think Shiro's good, dude.
Well, yes, keep that rapier at his face. I'm going to give this food to him. So I hand the food to this creature.
Mm-hmm.
Are you feeding him or are you?
No,
He takes the food.
Yeah, I just kind of throw it to him.
He takes the food, and then he looks at you like,
Besley, I'm pinned to wall. Help, please help. Besley, I'm hurt. Owie.
he shows you where the pitchfork goes through his wing and also through his side.
Maybe Besley eat and it come outside. Owie.
But who put you there? Who pinned you up to this wall?
Didn't
You
he
said a
already
man
say?
did it.
Malmus, he already said.
Besley have master in Quevar. Fine master, wizard master. Besley pinned to wall by man troll.
Angelus, do you have any idea what he's talking about?
No, I trust him. Listen, this is a familiar. He has a master. Let's get him off this wall. I mean, like, he's not faking if he has this pitchfork through him, guys.
I don't know. Cher's having a hard time.
Angelus, this is about the location that you were getting that feeling from, and you can make a religion check for me.
Okay.
Can Shiro make a deception check to see if he's lying
11.
or not?
You can tell that this is some type of a fiend, just by the shape of it and the pictures that you've seen in your religious training, but you're not sure exactly what kind it is. What was that, Alex?
Can Shiro try to identify whether or not any of this story is truthful based off like speech patterns or anything like that?
Give me an insight check.
Oh, I like that.
That'll be a 13.
It's hard to tell. He's not been completely forthcoming, or I shouldn't say forthcoming, but obvious with what he's trying to say. But you can't tell if that's because he's trying to be deceiving or if it's because he's in pain and starving to death and not really good at speaking the language.
Okay, guys, bear with out of character. Bear with me for a second here. I have an idea. Oh no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, I was just gonna fill time because Bimley feels like this spell it should have gone off, right? It should have already worked.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel like you're looking at the spell book and you're glancing down at it. You're doing all the things you're supposed to do at the end of the spell, and it hasn't done what it's supposed to do.
This book is crap.
That's your dad's.
It's still crap.
Oh, all right.
So Bimbley closes it up, tucks it away. He's gonna waddle on over to see what the dudes are doing.
And as Bimley gets there, oh, go ahead, Alex.
No. Go ahead. I'll wait.
Okay. Well, as Bimley gets there, the creature looks at him and goes,
Master.
Wait, ask him about. Does he know your dad?
Bimbley,
Ask him.
completely shocked, drops his staff to the floor, drops everything, and goes, "But I'm still a virgin. I can't have anything. I can't have any children. What are you talking about?"
Master?
Did you know my father?
Yes, but Besley, I'm no master's father. Yes,
What was my father's name?
master.
Can I roll a perception check to see if he's lying or not?
insight.
Insight? Okay.
Yep.
22.
Bimley does get the feeling that he's just pulling words out of his butt. It's very similar to what Shearer does sometimes. He just throws words out.
Malmus growing frustrated with all the back and forth. Can I produce my short bow and kind of intimidate him into giving us straight answers?
The man's already got a rapier to his throat.
Yeah, but it's from
Boys,
you.
Listen to me. I'm having a hard time understanding if I'm having lots of thoughts right now. He talks a lot like Sheer, where we don't know if he's talking real words or not. So I don't know if we should pull this guy down or not.
Master, Babeslab speak real words. Yes, Babeslab is familiar to Master. Yes.
But
Please,
I have a question.
Free Babeslab, free him.
I have lived with my father for the past 13 years, and I have never once seen you.
No. Babeslab invisible, see?
And he turns invisible. You can't see him.
All right, I have an idea, guys.
Shearer pokes him very, very gently
Ouch!
with that
Oh,
rapier.
just please free Babeslab. Set
Boys!
Babeslab free.
Boys, back away from the Beelzebub. Everybody, come here. Get on my level. We're gonna have a little chat about this.
I'm there.
What do you guys think we should do here?
I don't know. Wait. Here's what I think. I think we should use that crazy bag that Shearer has. Let's put it over him. We're gonna pull that thing out and capture him in that bag. I think it's the only choice. Like, at least we'll have him.
But then do what?
And then, do we take him back to the orphanage?
I mean, we can swing that thing around. We can slam it on the ground. I don't know. I mean, at least it won't be loose.
Yeah, but what if it's benevolent?
Think about it like this, Bimbley. There's 4 of us and 1 of it.
I don't know. I am kind of drunk.
Master, you summoned Babeslab.
But here's the thing, though. In my father's spell book, there was something off about that find familiar spell. Something that I haven't seen before.
Yes, is find familiar for imp. Babeslab imp. Yes, Master, you have cast the spell very well. Babeslab is familiar to Master now. Yes.
All right, Beelzebub. Everybody, come here. Pull it in real quick again. I say that we pull the rape. I said we pull it out.
Let's just see what happens.
Stupid.
Well, what do you suggest, Shia? What do you suggest?
Shearer points at his bag of holding and goes,
You want to put him in the bag, like I said?
But then what?
Andrew was not stupid. Bag.
But then do what with him?
At least we'll have time to think. I mean,
Shearer shrugs his shoulders in confusion, just goes,
okay, wait, hold on.
Bimbley,
Is there a
did
cage?
he just say you were his master?
Essentially, yes.
Hold on. Is there a cage or something that we can release this thing into? Anything in town? Anything close? A room we
I'm
can
sure-
slam the door on?
I'm sure we would have to go look for it.
Yeah,
we'd
I
have
mean,
to go find
everything's kind of burnt down, so there's not like.
Bimbley, should we just release him? What do you
No,
thinking?
hold on.
Malmus, what are you thinking?
No, but he's already stuck.
Bimbley, what if, since you're its master, is there a way that you could just have him not attack us since you command him?
Why don't you ask him what that means? Him being a master, like what do you have control of?
Wait a minute, what is this?
What out of character? What did you say the creature was called?
Oh, Babeslab?
Oh, jeez, I'm gonna say that wrong, and I'm not trying to do it on purpose.
That's way too close to Beelzebub.
You creature, you creature. You said this is your master.
Yes, Master is master of Babeslab.
What exactly does that mean?
Oh, you make so difficult.
He stretches, and you can tell he's in pain, and he reaches behind him, and he pulls out this piece of paper, like rolled up into a scroll, and he unrolls the scroll, and he says,
Formal and binding contract of familiarity. master and familiar.
And he hands Bimley this scroll. It says, the formal and binding contract of familiarity. By the rights of this contract and the binding influence of Asmodeus, Lord of the Nine Hells, the undersigned do hereby agree to be named Master and Familiar, thereby securing and guaranteeing all of the rights and responsibilities afforded to the undersigned by the aforementioned title so long as this contract shall last. For the duration of the contract, the souls of the undersigned shall be intertwined yet remain separate in such a way that one may have constant awareness of the other through a telepathic bond as long as there is less than 1 mile of distance between the two. So you can essentially see through his eyes and hear what he hears. You can use his senses instead of yours within a mile. While in close proximity, the master may additionally benefit from the magic resistance of the familiar, as well as cast any spell with a range of touch through the familiar's touch rather than his own. So all those touch spells that you have, Bimley could then deliver those through his familiar instead of having to get close to the enemy himself. In exchange for the aforementioned benefits, the master agrees not to intentionally harm the familiar in any way, physical or psychical, and to see that the familiar is cared for insofar and as well as the master is able. Should this contract of relational equity be broken or canceled by either party, the souls of the undersigned shall be willingly returned to the aforementioned title, and the joining of the souls shall be undone, each returning to its own awareness without the aforementioned benefits. And there's a place for master to sign and familiar.
Shearer, given that his family has or his clan before his family moved to Cuervar has a familiarity with thieving and other nefarious things, grabs the contract out of his hand and tries to inspect to see if it may be a forgery of some sort.
Okay, give me an investigation check.
17.
It's not a forgery. Shearer can't speak to its authenticity as a binding contract, right? Because that's not his expertise. But it's an original document, and it looks to be of some sort of a magical nature.
Hey, Bimbley.
Yes.
This isn't signed.
No, it's not.
Should we sign it and see if any of this stuff happens?
Are you
Hold
even
on.
old enough to sign that thing?
Hold on. I don't even know how old I am. Hold on.
Wait, do you have a pen?
Beelzebub.
Beelzebub.
Bartholomew.
No, that's the other guy. You got his name wrong. That was the gnome.
All right.
You got his name right. Okay.
Bertram. One question. If you were my father's familiar, why is this contract unsigned?
Because Master just cast Find Familiar, and your father is dead.
All right, boys. We're going balls to the walls here. We're pulling that pitchfork out.
Let's do this.
Well, sign the contract first.
Oh, yes.
Whoa.
Angelus, sign it for me. I don't know how to write.
Angelus grabs Bimbley's hand and signs for him as best he can.
All right.
Okay.
And then hands the contract back to I don't know. That's tough.
Babesliad.
Yeah, Bubba.
Okay.
Okay, so Babesliad takes the contract and he signs his name with a flourish. And as he does, the whole thing lights up in like this fiery glow. And then it dies down to just being this sheet of paper again. And Babesliad hands the contract to Bimley.
Now, please, Master, you must help Beelzebub.
Oh, okay. Share, pull the thing out. I'm too short. I can't reach it.
You do feel a like you can almost feel like a pain in your arm as they wiggle the pitchfork to get it out.
Careful! I can feel it in my gut.
Shearer, frustrated but and untrusting of this new compatriot, kind of shrugs the whole situation off, pulls his bag of holding off, and proceeds towards where his family's general store used to be.
Okay.
Oh, Thanks, Sheer. Malmus, pull it off, please.
2, 3, pull.
Okay, you guys. Yeah, you can tell that you're linked. It's not like a huge, like painful pain, but you can tell that you can sort of experience what this creature experiences. And if you focus on it, you can actually see through his eyes, and there's still some bits of food hanging in Bimley's beard.
Boys, I'm looking at myself right now, and I must say, I'm one attractive man.
Yeah, it's not a lie.
Yeah, no, you look great.
My beard is nice.
You're like 2 feet tall, but it works.
But I can't do this PG-13. Never mind.
Oh, thank you, Master. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
But please don't call me Master.
Oh, but Besley must refer to Master as Master.
Just call me Master.
He's
clearly confused by this, but he agrees.
Yes, instead of Master, but Besley will call Master.
Master.
Good name.
So I see.
Yeah,
so Bimbley sees Sheer walking off to his family store, and he goes, Sheer, come check out my new pet. It knows my name.
Sheer just ignores the situation and continues walking.
So
throws his hand up like, okay, cool.
Because Sheer continues to walk, Bimbley waddle runs over there. He ones over to him. Sheer! And he tugs on his cloak. Sheer! I said, look at my pet.
He flies poorly because he still has a bit of a hole in his wing, but he flies over like behind you and lands on your shoulder.
Look at him. It's like one of those things that it's like a bird that talks. I don't know.
What are you gonna feed it?
I don't know. What do you eat, Beelzebub?
Besley eat food and just food.
Well, unfortunately, all I have in my bag is ale. Would you like something to drink?
Wait.
But Besley like drink.
Did you just say you eat children?
No, chilled food.
Oh.
Very cold.
Angelus runs over and casts Cure Wounds on this creature, and also asks Bimbley, is there any way you can rename this thing to something you like?
Bartholomew, can I name you to whatever I'd like?
No, Babesleb has been Babesleb for 662 years.
Hey, it was a good run. Let's do something new.
That's a long time.
I'm gonna name you Gertrude.
I was thinking Hank, but Gertrude's good.
Garth?
It's your pet. Garth.
All right, boys, come here.
Yeah. Oh, the wrong way.
Fly away. What shall I name him?
I mean,
he flies off.
I like Hank. Or Garth. Garth is pretty good.
Garth is good.
Cool.
He lands on Angelus's shoulder and whispers into Angelus's ear.
Thank you for Healy's.
No problem. And then I forehead kissed it.
It tastes of brimstone.
Garth, tell me his lips aren't soft.
The Shearer leans in really close to Bimbley and kind of motions to him, like, and flags him over, like he has an awesome idea. He goes,
Yes.
Name?
stupid, and just walks away.
And he's
Boys, I think we should name him Stupid.
Okay.
Mind you,
I mean,
You don't think that name
hold
is...
on. Would that make you feel better? I mean, will that make you feel better?
Shearer just throws his arms in the air and continues walking towards the family's general store. He's done with this whole situation.
All right, well, I guess it's Garth.
He's done with this nonsense.
all right, his name is Garth. Let's follow Sheer.
Garth, I have to ask you a question while we walk. So you said he feels everything that you feel, correct?
Not feel, experience, perception, perceive, use senses. Yes, senses. Senses what I feel.
Okay. Here, I want to do this. I'm going to give you some of this ale, and you're going to drink a lot of it, and I just want to see where this goes. If he feels the exact same effects. Is that okay with you?
Besley, drink?
There it is. I'm just going to keep feeding you beer.
Besley, drink?
So he drinks one glass of this.
Oh no!
And he just gets like super loopy. He tries to fly and he just flops onto the ground, and then he continues to flop on the ground.
Besley, drink?
Bimbley, do you feel any of this?
What?
If you focus on it, if you do that little mind trick where you kind of looked at yourself through his eyes, you can feel this drunken feeling.
What?
I can't right now. I'm so sorry. Out of character. That was hilarious. Out of character. That was hilarious. I feel like I want to die right now. I'm sorry.
Chillin'.
Hey.
There he is.
Oh.
What happened?
So we all catch up to Shearer, as I'm sure he wants to check out his family's general.
Angelus, it was the most awesomest thing ever. Malmus gave Garth lots of ale, and
What's wrong with you?
I perceived into him, and what?
Into him.
What?
You do sound like Garth.
Garth following you?
Oh wow.
Angelus,
Yeah.
pick me.
Okay.
You can stop focusing on Bobesley anytime you. So
What in God's name just happened? I don't like this.
Shearer gets to his family's Beaks and
Right back.
Baubles store, and it's burnt to a crisp. It's all just, I mean, there's a couple of posts still standing here and there. You can tell where the door was, but it has all just burnt down and crumbled in on itself, like most of the buildings here.
Can Shearer look through the rubble to find or try to find the remains of his mom? He never saw his dad after everything went down either, right?
True. Yeah, give me an investigation check.
All right.
That's a 7.
Okay. We'll say that Shearer it takes his time to find her. He knows she's in there somewhere, right? So eventually he figures out like where he is in the store, and he figures out where his mom was, and he goes and finds her body. And you're able to drag it out. It's pretty badly burnt.
Can I pat it down and see if maybe there's anything that survived her corpse being incinerated?
Yeah, you don't find anything. She probably put everything into the bag of holding before, if she had anything.
Out of character, did we follow Shearer into the store?
Well, there's nothing to follow in. It's
yeah.
Just
you can see it.
But are we around Shearer?
Yeah.
Okay. Bimbley starts rummaging through things and finds like a trinket on the floor, and he says, "Look, I found something. Shearer, I want to give this to you to remember my Darth." He hands him this character or this little trinket, and it's a present to remember his Darth.
To remember his Darth. Shearer, insulted by you essentially desecrating his family's home, slaps Bimbley right across the mouth.
Bimbley, astonished that anybody has the audacity to put their hands on his beard, looks him dead in the eye, brings him in real close, grabs him by the back of the head, kisses him on the forehead, and goes, "God bless you."
Out of
Angelus runs
character,
over.
did you slap downwards, or were you eye level with him?
Out of character, given that we're all children, I think it was just like a clean.
Clean side. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. Just I needed to get it in my head right there.
I run over to Bimbly. I put him in like a light like friend headlock, and I just rub his cheek.
Yeah, dude. Yes. This is much better.
And I just kind of shake my head like at Sheer, like, "What are you doing? Yeah, it's too much."
Jeremy, out of character.
Yep.
She threw me straight into the bag of holding, right? I think it was Malmus that got put like in a basement.
Yeah, I was in the basement.
Okay. Shearer, realizing that potentially maybe there's nothing to be found here, climbs on top of one of the posts remaining of the door frame and tries to scan around and see if maybe he can see what's left of his father.
Okay, give me a perception check.
Wherever that might be. 19.
Wow.
Nice.
Shearer
Sure,
actually
sure.
does manage to pick out of the mass of corpses one that appears to look like the dark-bodied crow man that Shearer knew as his father.
Shearer's gonna go and try to pull him out of that pile of bodies.
Okay, yeah, it's no
One
problem. You
last-
get him out.
One last traumatic look at the burnt husk of his father before he moves on here.
Yeah.
Angelus, traumatized by this, runs to the fountain, thinking of his own father.
The well.
Or the well, excuse me.
Yeah. Okay. And actually on the way, well, give me a perception check.
Me?
Yeah, Angelus.
Do I find anything on my father's body?
You find a few things that he would have had,
Dang, it
if
was
there's
almost a nat 25.
something appropriate to him, then you can have that. Nothing magical or like insanely valuable, but
just a good
jewelry
trinket
or
or
whatever. Yeah. So Angelus, you are looking for your father, you actually trip over something, and as you stand up and look over, you see that it's actually your father's body.
Oh, God. Yeah.
And he does not look good. Yeah, he is torn up. Like he took several hits before. You can see gashes across his chest. He's laying on his back. He's got his throat gashed open and it slashes on his face. Like they went at him before he finally fell.
Bimbly hears
Angelus weeps.
Bimbly hears Angelus weeping and comes running over to him. Looks down at his running. It's waddle running.
Running. Yeah.
Looks down at the dead body. Looks at Angelus and goes, "Jesus, that's bad."
The weeping just gets 10 times worse after he says that.
After I say that,
he kind of gently pushes him away. Not pissed, just needs some space. Just kind of pushes Bimbly away.
and Bimbly goes like this. Looks at him and goes, "God bless you."
So I weep for a while and then I begin praying.
Okay.
And then once I'm done praying, I begin digging a hole for a grave.
Which is a silly thing to do, with Bimbly right there.
Why?
Because he has mold earth as a cantrip that he can cast 1,000 times if he wants to. That's how they always buried the dead here.
Angelus!
I mean,
Angelus!
Bimbly, yes.
If you would like, before or after you peruse through your father's belongings, I can cast this spell to dig a grave for you. I mean, it's the least I could do.
I would really appreciate that. So I begin searching my father's body.
So
just
he's
for
got
anything. Yeah.
he's got this armor on that he often wore during ceremonial occasions that you've seen him in, and it's a pretty stout armor. It's going to take you a little while to get that armor off of him.
Is it heavy armor?
It is. It's actually plate armor.
Okay. Well, I have, I guess, a bonus to proficiency for that. So I begin to take pieces off and put it on myself.
Okay.
And as I'm doing that, I'm searching for anything else but I'm doing this all with this knowledge of just memory and just cherishing, my father's legacy. So I continue to do that until I have all the armor on.
Okay.
Do I find anything else?
Yeah, he does have his prayer book with him, but it's as long as you've known him, he's had this prayer book, but it's not more than like 15 or 20 years old.
Yeah. Well, I know that I can look at this later. I kind of latch it on to the heavy armor, and I ask Bimbley to kind of finish his incantation. I pull my father's body into the hole, and we bury him.
Actually, you don't. So as you get your father's body over to the hole, you see a greenish-hued, translucent figure come towards you. You can tell that it's not of this world 100%, and it has the face and the build of a young warrior. And it moves towards you, and it reaches out its hand at your face.
Do I recognize this as the God Helm?
You do not. It's kind of a terrifying figure. Not because of the way it looks, it's just like a strong young warrior, but just the fact that this thing has suddenly appeared out here by the mother tree, which did not burn down in the fire, and is moving. It's just moving towards you, and you can see through its hand. You can see what's behind its hand through its hand, but it's a scary apparition.
Through all the terror, for some reason, there's this feeling that I should just let it do what it needs to do and make contact with me.
Okay. You want to stand still?
Yes.
Dude, look at that smile on Jeremy's face.
So the hand comes towards your face, and as it gets like right by your cheek, it just does this little brush on your cheek, and you can't feel it. You're not sure if it can feel you, but it looks at you and it opens its mouth as if it's trying to say something, but there's nothing comes out from it. And it realizes that it can't speak. So it just puts its hand on your shoulder and looks at you and kind of almost sizes you up in the armor.
Bimbley, completely shocked by what's going on, looks over at Angelus and goes, "Angelus, I think you've been touched by an angel."
I still cannot talk. Angelus is just like, I think that's one of the reasons I let it touch me was because I just cannot understand what's going on. I continue to just stand there stoically, most likely in terror.
Give me a religion check, Angelus.
Okay. Oh my! I'm rolling so bad. A 4. I rolled a 1.
You're all like, sure.
Yeah, you're pretty sure it's an angel.
Yeah. That's it. I just kind of let it keep basically mugging me or whatever it's doing.
What's Malmus doing all this time?
Malmus is just as confused as Bimbley was. Man, this is tough because I don't know what it is, but there is like a fear that Malmus has towards it for sure. And he's just staring at it. He's just staring at it as it's like molesting Angelus, basically.
Okay. It pats or attempts to pat Malmus or Angelus on the shoulder, and then it motions to walk with it.
To me?
Yes.
Whoa!
Yeah, don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you should go with that thing, bud.
Me either.
I don't think you should.
Or not alone, at least.
And I'm not going with you. No.
Well, Malmus, will you?
Send the bird.
Sure. I mean, I gotta ask him, right? Sure.
Oh, bird!
Am I nearby any of this? Because I didn't come with them to the center of town.
I would assume that Shearer, once he's collected everything he can, Shearer would start bringing his parents over towards the mother tree.
Okay.
So if you want Shearer, there he is. Yeah.
Shearer just looks at Angelus and nods acknowledgingly, like he will come with you if you need someone to hold your hand.
Actually, you know what, boys? I say we do this together.
Yeah, I'd
Definitely
appreciate
scared,
that.
but I'm with you guys.
This wouldn't have happened unless I began burying my father. There has to be a connection with him, so I got to go with or without you.
God bless you.
So I kiss my own hand,
Mm-hmm.
and I put it on my forehead, and I start walking towards. I forehead kiss myself, is what I'm saying, and I walk towards this ghost. I follow it.
Okay, so the ghost actually begins walking out into the woods, into the forest, and it's following some trails that are familiar to you, but it continues to walk, and it'll turn around and stop and look and make sure that you're still following it.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as you are, it continues to follow these old trails northeast through the forest.
Out of
I mean,
character, what way did the trolls come from? The ice trolls.
Oh yeah.
They came from the north, as far as you can tell.
Okay. Oof. So we're all following behind him, right?
Yep.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'm going fast, so I bet you're trying to catch up with me. I'm going with or without you, so I want you to understand. Like, I'm just I've committed to this. I need to know.
Okay.
He's all I had, this father of mine. So I gotta go.
So the heroes travel northeast through the night, and the ghost leads the way through ancient trails of the Glimmerwood. It's exhausting, especially for Bimley. He doesn't have a wagon.
I'm tired, boys.
The ghost doesn't tire. Give me a perception check
All
for
of
your
us.
journey. Yes, all of you.
Come on.
Let's go, baby.
17 for sure.
And you're rolling big today. I got a 9.
3 for Malmus.
Malmus has found his friends. They're still with him. Shearer, you notice several times throughout the journey, you can see these gray streaks moving just at the edge of your vision as you move northeast through the woods.
Can Shearer decipher if these are natural happenings, like animals running through the tree line, or something else? I mean, obviously not anything specific, but
yeah, I mean, at a 17, you're pretty sure that these are wolves. Those gray wolves, right?
okay.
But they don't get close enough to where you can really identify them. You got a good look at those 2 or 3 wolves that came forward earlier, but these never get close enough for you to identify. You just notice them. They'll be off to the right at one point, and then a few hours later, you see them off to the left. But they never get close.
The next time, or I'm assuming, we'll just say now for the sake of storytelling, the next time he notices one of those gray blurs out of the corner of his vision, just drop some rations on the ground. Just maybe like a half day's rations, just sprinkles them along the floor as he continues walking in pace with Angelus.
Okay. So you continue out through the night. As the first light of dawn begins to glow in the east, you arrive at an ancient stone fortress. Thick vines have crept up the open wooden double-door entrance and continue on up the square tower all the way to the top of the tower. And the transparent green apparition beckons you inside.
Now, during this journey, Angelus has multiple times picked up Bimbley and put him on his shoulders.
Okay.
God bless.
Because he could see he was tired.
Yeah.
At that point, he's still on my shoulders. It's one of those moments where I had him on the shoulders, and I look up at him and I go, "Should we do it?"
Do we have to climb anything?
I'll throw you.
Fine. But we could do that.
Okay.
I think we should go, boys. Why not? We've traveled this far.
Yeah.
I put him down and I asked Malmus and Shearer, "Are you guys good with going in?"
Shearer pulls out his rapier and continues walking in pace with Angelus.
Okay.
So Angelus moves forward.
All right. Inside, it's still and it's cold. Dusty cobwebs hang in every corner and fill the fireplace. You see mounted on a wooden plaque above the mantle is a large silver gauntlet with a single eye right in the center of it. Angelus obviously recognizes this as the symbol of Helm. The whole fortress smells of must and stone, and the ghost motions for you to follow as he begins to ascend up the stairs.
Before I move up, I actually grab all three of the guys and hug them without words. This is a big deal to me, and I move forward up the stairs.
Hey, whoa, 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 whoa! You better put me on your shoulders. I'm not climbing stairs. I told you.
So I pick him up. I put him on his shoulders without any question, and I go up the stairs.
Shearer with his rapier at the ready swungs behind Angelus and the shouldered Bimbly as he makes his way up the stairs right behind them.
Okay.
And Malmus, of course, running point because he really doesn't want to be there.
Makes sense. All right, this the stairway leads up to a series of rooms. The ghost leads to a specific room and motions for you to come inside. Inside this room, you see a rotting bed with shredded blankets. There's some broken furniture. Everything has been destroyed in here and has been destroyed for a long time. There's little rat droppings and dust everywhere. But the ghost motions to the bed in not an unfamiliar motion, sort of motioning to under the bed.
So Angelus looks under the bed.
Okay, give me an investigation check.
Investigation.
As Angelus goes to look under the bed, Bimbly gets off of his shoulders and taps him on the shoulder and goes, "That'll do, pig."
Oh my God.
Someone being carried around, you sure are rude.
Right?
I got a 14 right after
So-
hugging Bimbly. Like, that comment didn't hurt him at all. He just gave him a hug and let that little old guy go.
I like it.
God bless you.
Angelus feels around under the bed, and he's absolutely certain that there's something there. So he just persists until he finds this loose cobblestone. And as he wiggles it, the cobblestone lifts up, and there's a cavity underneath.
I do my best to go, I guess, squeeze into that section. Do I have an action?
It's not very big. It's just like one cobblestone, maybe this big.
Well, I was saying underneath the bed. I don't need to do that. I can still see it.
No, you can't really see it, but you could fit your hand in there if you wanted to just shove your hand into it.
Okay, so I can't see it from my angle, so I don't need to cast like Sacred Flame or anything to see anything.
You could move the bed, or if you wanted to look, or you can just shove your hand in the hole.
No, I mean, there's so much trust right now. I just reach for it.
All right. So Angelus pulls out this...
And your hand gets cut off.
It was a mimic. Angelus pulls out an ancient leather journal. And he can see on the cover of this journal is that same symbol with the gauntlet and the eye, but sewn into it in leather. And he opens this journal up, and it goes back a long time. It seems to be the journal of somebody named Scaolon, and it begins maybe 50 years previously. He's serving as a cleric of Helm in some place called the House Invincible. He's favored by the Vigilant Master. A few years later, you skip a few pages, he's recommended as a Moon Watcher. He moves to Methagrist. A few years later, he's promoted, and he learns that the Moon Watchers guard a box they must never open. There are several pages about his questioning and him being told that he's not supposed to question this. This is just part of their sacred duty. They're the guardians of Helm. They don't question it. They just protect it. About 10 years after that, there's something about Seeds of Descent and the Nether Scrolls. And then there's this final entry at the back in the year 1479, which is about 20 something years before the current current year. And it says in this final entry, the three of us who still maintain trust in each other have agreed to split the remaining 9 nether scrolls and never return to this place. We shall go into hiding. I shall change my name and never again be called Scalon, nor shall I be known as a moon watcher. I know not where the others go, but I shall seek refuge in Cuervar. Perhaps I will learn woodcutting or ranching. I've always wanted to live the simple life, and I know just the right place to hide the scrolls I take. The Cuervarians are a queer people with queerer traditions. I believe those traditions will serve my purpose well. Goodbye, Methagrist. I shall miss you and my time here. Yours, Scalon. But Scalon at the end is crossed out.
So I take the journal and obviously put it away.
Okay.
I turn to the guys, and I'm actually most concerned about Malmus. I don't know if we actually searched his parents' kind of graves.
No. You saw the ghost right at the time that that I think we would have done that.
He didn't care about his parents anyways, so we're okay.
I only had my mother, so I mean, and I think she
Should
was
we travel back?
crushed into smithereens the last time we saw her.
Let's travel back. Then.
Well, boys,
Mhm.
before we leave this place, there's several other rooms for us to investigate.
I'm in.
I don't.
Shall we split up and investigate each room separately or as a team?
Sure. What do you think?
Sheer, without acknowledging but agreeing to Bimbli's idea, rushes out the door and rushes for the. Out of character, how are these doorways in this hallway laid out? Is it 2 and 2 or?
Yeah, there's this top floor is all just like the stairway comes up and then there's a walkway around. It's open in the middle so you can see down the tower, and then there's these rooms all around it. Shearer bolts for the nearest door to the left and tries to open it.
So
all the doors open super easy. They're old and the hinges are rusted.
Okay. So then Bimbley looks at the other 2 remaining guys and goes, "Well, boys, looks like we're doing it by ourselves. Have fun it!" Then Bimbley runs off to another door and opens it.
Shearer begins to scour the room, respectfully scour the room for anything that might be of use. Or
every room looks to be about the same as this first room, right? Some simple furniture that was probably used to store their clothes or their belongings, and then their beds, which are all rotted and torn up, and nothing. If there was ever anything of value here, it was looted a long time ago. It just happens that this one journal had been hidden underneath this stone under the bed, and the looters didn't find it.
Angelus, in curiosity, actually pulls out that journal again, looks at the last page, and sees if that crossed out mark is a different ink.
Make an investigation check.
Ooh.
18.
It is definitely not. The ink is the same age and the same type as all the other ink. So Angelus can tell that at the end he signed his name and then he crossed it out because he knew he was changing it.
Shearer walks back towards Angelus and kind of taps him on the shoulder and motions for him to let him see the book. Maybe.
Here you go. Oh, here you go.
So it's safe to say I read through it and I understand everything.
Yep.
Okay. So Shearer closes the book very carefully and hands it back to Angelus and goes, Angelus home, maybe?
So we should go back to my house. I mean, that we could get back to Malmus's kind of like mom, maybe find out what's going on. Do you want to go back?
Home or mother tree?
Yeah.
The ghost nods his head to that.
Okay.
Ghost is still here. Okay, that's cool to know. So Shearer excitedly goes like this and points at the ghost and flails and goes, Mother tree! Mother tree!
Okay.
Right,
Somebody put me on their shoulders. Let's go.
I got him. So I put him back on my shoulders.
Out of character, I exclaimed "Mother Tree" loud enough for everyone around in the neighboring rooms to hear.
Okay.
I want to mention that Angelus has a rough time kind of carrying Bimbley because Bimbley's in this position in his back. So like the weight is kind of weird, but he does his best.
Is there a way that we could, Malmus and Angelus could both take one of like Bimbley's arms and like have him in the middle and like swing him a little bit? I don't know.
Usually, like when you're walking down the road to get back home, you totally could. But going down the stairs, that's going to be really hazardous.
Yeah.
So Angelus puts him on his shoulders and heads down the stairs. And
first class, baby.
And you get to the bottom of the stairs, back down into that entry room, and the ghost motions for you to follow him back out into what is now the light of the morning. And as you begin to, a sudden puff of black soot erupts from the web-covered fireplace. A black cloud billows out, and from within this cloud, a skittering mass of writhing black legs lurches towards the heroes. And that's where we'll end it tonight.
Let's go. Heck yeah.
Now I
Master of the like roller coaster
Good
at the end right there. Love it.
It's good, guys. Good.
Nice job.
Great job. Great
Good
job.
job, everyone.
Nice
that was fun.
cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, thanks everyone for watching. On that note, be sure to follow us on all the social medias. Rewatch this episode on YouTube. Shout out to everyone on the Twitch channel, especially Daniel, who also gives hand claps to Jeremy for his great job.
Yes, thank you, Daniel.
Well,
Such
one
good
more for
support.
Jeremy. Yeah, excellent.
Oh, Jeremy, yeah.
No,
Be sure-
for you guys.
Yes.
Be sure to
Your
come
role
talk
play
to.
is so good, guys. It's so
We
good.
try. Be sure to jump on our Discord and on our subreddit and also on our Instagram. Talk to us about the episode, what you guys thought, what you would have done. Would also be really cool to hear from some of you guys, especially some of you who have been playing for a while.
And where you'd like to see it go, too.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Please.
Yes.
Open to ideas.
Jump on, conversate with us. Jeremy and Joe and I were talking before the episode. We might have some cool stuff for you guys coming up here shortly. We might announce next week. In the meantime, like I said, follow us on all those. Be sure to rewatch this in the future if you missed any of it on YouTube and or Twitch, or listen to it on the go on Spotify and or SoundCloud, depending which you prefer. Although, let's face it, everyone has Spotify, nobody has SoundCloud.
Or Apple Music. I mean, we'll get that.
Unless you're a rapper, a mumble rapper, then yeah, SoundCloud.
So with that being said, everybody, thanks for watching. This is an awesome session. I'm so excited for next week. So we'll catch you guys all next week for episode 5.
Woo!
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
God bless. God bless you.
God bless.